want to recognize 4 firefighters for an outstanding job they did on a fire we had March 9th on Mulberry Street. In my 40 years of being in the fire service, I have never seen this particular incident happen, and as we progress through the night, you'll realize why. But I'd like to bring up Captain Mike Lippincott. It was his shift that was on, and it was his nomination for these gentlemen, and I think it's only right that he gets to elaborate a little bit on the job they did. To set it up a little bit, we roll up to what we call a 2.5-story duplex with heavy fire showing on the 2nd and 3rd floor. Normal, this is our bread and butter type fire. We send first crew into the 2nd floor, start extinguishing the fire. When more personnel come, we send in a backup crew to go either to the 2nd floor or progress up to the 3rd floor and to protect the stairway. So we were making headway that night, and then I noticed out on the street something just wasn't right. And normally fires burn up before they burn down. And as I'm watching the situation and making decisions, tactical decisions, what to do next, we have a fire start on the 1st floor. That's what is unusual, because usually once we reach that 2nd floor, we don't have that amount of fire on the 1st floor. So from there, I'll let Captain Lippincott pick it up and explain why we are recognizing the people that we are tonight.
Thanks, Jim. I don't know if I'm as eloquent as you are, but it was my privilege to make these nominations. Essentially, as the chief said, we arrived with heavy fire showing. We were met by some police officers who informed us it was occupied on both sides, but they felt that they had an accounting that everyone was out. There's a rule in the fire service that we don't take nothing personal. We don't take anyone's word for anything. Fire departments have been caught before with people trapped and things because they were told, oh yeah, we think everyone's out. So normally we will make entry. Even if we have a lot of heavy fire showing, we'll make entry. As we advance the hose line, we're searching, making sure that all the occupants are out. So that was a decision we made that night. The chief said we went to the 2nd floor, we knocked down, we had a lot of fire, we knocked it down. Chief had arrived on location, another crew showed up, and a backup line was brought in by firefighter Ryan Gandy and Battalion Chief Larry Fawcett. At that point, myself, firefighter Christine Tanetta, and firefighter T. Fawcett were inside. We decided when the backup line came up, we'd start moving up to the 3rd floor. We also had a lot of fire up there. We knew we had the line coming in to back us up. As we got to the top of the 3rd floor, radio transmission came across from the chief that he was noticing some fire on the 1st floor, which, as he said, very unusual. We had come in through the front door and went through the 1st floor, had no fire conditions at that time. We believe that because of the heavy amount of fire and the balloon construction, which is no fire stops, some fire had dropped down onto the 1st floor. Still not overly concerned. I remember Christine and I were up on the 3rd floor. We made a comment about, well, somebody needs to take care of that, something to that effect. What we didn't know was that there were oxygen cylinders stored in the front room of that house. There was also an oxygen generator on the 2nd floor, which 4 hours later, when we were overhauling the fire, was still running on battery, pumping oxygen into the house. So at this point, the chief outside, he's getting crews to get a line inside to try to get that fire on the 1st floor. Things happened very, very quickly. Christine, firefighter Tanetta, went down to the 2nd floor to pull some more hose up for me on the 3rd floor, where she was met by firefighter T. Fawcett, who was the first one really inside, I think, to recognize how bad the situation was. He told Christine, we got to get out. She immediately came back up to the 3rd floor, told me that we had to go. I had no idea what was going on. I came down to the 2nd floor, looked to my left. towards the back of the house where the steps coming up from the first floor were. Fire was coming like a jet up over the banister. At this point, the oxygen cylinders had started to let loose on the first floor. Firefighter Panetta said that, we're going to need to go out the front. We're never going to get back down the steps. At that point, we all moved into the front bedroom, which was the original fire room. We realized we could make it out the front window onto the porch. At that point, with myself, Firefighter Panetta, and Firefighter T. Fawcett. What we didn't realize at that time, we had thought that Battalion Chief Fawcett and Firefighter Gandy had followed us. They were still with the backup line at the top of the steps trying to push the fire back down to protect us. The fire was so intense it burned the hose line through. They lost hose pressure. At that point, Firefighter T. Fawcett went back, told Battalion Chief Fawcett we need to get out, that the rest of the crew had gotten out from the third floor. They were safe. They came out. The 5 of us got onto the porch roof. And at this time, the O2 cylinders really started to let loose. There was a series of explosions. Fire was coming up, lapping over the porch roof, cutting off our means of egress. And at this point, the driver for that night, my truck operator, was Firefighter Scott Haley. With all the craziness going on, everyone was doing different things. He was the one that recognized that our egress was cut off. He single-handedly pulled a 24-foot extension ladder out of the truck by himself, carried it over and through the ladder up to the porch roof on the other side of the house so that we could get out. So after everything kind of calmed down, we found out we had some video of this, helmet cam video. I watched the video a lot. Thought about a lot of things we did that night. Wrote a letter to Chief S. and I said I felt that I don't have as many years as he does, but in 24 years I've been in some tight spots, but that was definitely the closest call I ever had. And I really think that those 4 individuals made it possible for me and for Firefighter Panetta, who were the first 2 in and on that line, to make it out safely, and I wanted to make sure they were recognized. So I wrote it up, turned it over to the chief, and didn't know I was going to have to get up here and talk to them.
While it's on my mind, a little public service announcement. If anyone in the room knows of anyone with oxygen in their house, have them notify us, because we'll keep track of that. It is a state statute that if there is oxygen or one of those generating machines in the house, the company's supposed to notify the fire department. Sometimes things fall through the cracks. So if anybody here or watching us on TV at home, call the station 327-3334, talk to the shift captain, and what we do is we put it on our computer so it comes up when we're going on the scene. So that's a little public service announcement. At this time, I would like to call up Battalion Chief Larry Fawcett, Firefighter T. Fawcett, Firefighter Ryan Gandy, and Firefighter Scott Haley. Sure. We have the Medal of Gallantry to give to, with a certificate from the fire department, to Battalion Chief Larry Fawcett. Congratulations. Firefighter T. Fawcett gets a gallantry.
Nice.
One of our young members, newest members, how long have you been in now? 2 years. Ryan Gandy. And the Medal of Courage for his actions outside this building to Firefighter Scott Haley. Okay. I promised you I'd take care of them, and I still do. Okay, they're good. A lot of this wouldn't have been possible without the training that they go through. We train as hard as we play, and There's no doubt that the training, what we call RIT training, rapid intervention training, paid off that night. For a guy that's almost 62, I was sweating that night, I'll tell you that. And I've seen a lot in my time. I would like to offer anyone that would like to see what we're talking about. The younger section of the fire department tells me we're very social media savvy, and I know we have a web page, and they tell me we have a Facebook page, and tonight I just learned we have a YouTube page that will give you a link to the video, and the video comes, most of it from my point of view. It's on the camera's on my helmet and on the dash of my car. It switches at one point to another firefighter's helmet who was given the order to advance into the house and hold up the fire. He didn't get that far before they released. But it's a whole little video. It's about 20 minutes. You have radio communications. It's like you're there. It's like you're there. So, you know, if you get a chance, look at that and you'll see what they went through, and then you'll understand why we're doing what we do tonight. So, thank you.
Before the chief walks away, you have to give the man a round of applause for his leadership of this police department. He's done an outstanding job, and he's there for his men and women, and he represents them well. Chief, you're a good man. Thank you. Not done yet. I'd like to call up Linda Green.